Chapter 1 of My Confession. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Expatriate in Bangor, Maine. My Confession by Leo Tolstoy. Chapter 1. I was christened and educated in the faith of the Orthodox Greek Church. I was taught it in my childhood, and I learned it in my youth. Nevertheless, at 18 years of age, when I quitted the university, I had discarded all belief in anything that I had been taught. To judge by what I can now remember, I could never have had a very serious belief. It must have been a kind of trust in this teaching, based on one in my teachers and elders, and, moreover, a trust not very firmly grounded. I remember once in my 12th year, a boy, now long since dead, Vladimir M., a pupil in a gymnasium, spent a Sunday with us and brought us the news of the last discovery in the gymnasium, namely, that there was no God, and that all we were taught on the subject was a mere invention. This was in 1838. I remember well how interested my elder brothers were in this news. I was admitted to their deliberations, and we all eagerly accepted the theory as something particularly attractive and possibly quite true. I remember also that when my elder brother Dmitri, then at the university, with the impulsiveness natural to his character, gave himself up to a passionate faith, began to attend the church services regularly, to fast, and to lead a pure and moral life, we, all of us, and some older than ourselves, never ceased to hold him up to ridicule, and for some incomprehensible reason gave him the nickname of Noah. I remember that Moussin Pouchkin, the then curator of the University of Kazan, having invited us to a ball, tried to persuade my brother, who had refused the invitation, by the jeering argument that even David danced before the ark. I sympathized then with these jokes of my elders, and drew from them this conclusion, that I was bound to learn my catechism and go to church, but that it was not necessary to think of my religious duties more seriously. I also remember that I read Voltaire when I was very young, and that his tone of mockery amused without disgusting me. The gradual estrangement from all belief went on in me as it does, and always has done, in those of the same social position and culture. This falling off, as it seems to me, for the most part, goes on as follows. People live as others live, and their lives are guided, not by the principles of the faith which is taught them, but by their very opposite. Belief has no influence on life, nor on the relations between men. It is relegated to some other sphere where life is not. If the two ever come into contact at all, belief is only one of the outward phenomena and not one of the constituent parts of life. By a man's life, by his acts, it was then, as it is now, impossible to know whether he was a believer or not. If there be a difference between one who openly professes the doctrines of the Orthodox Church and one who denies them, the difference is to the advantage of the former. The open profession of the Orthodox doctrines is mostly found among persons of dull intellects, of stern character, and who think much of their own importance. Intelligence, honesty, frankness, a good heart, and moral conduct are oftener met with among those who are disbelievers. The schoolboy is taught his catechism and sent to church. From the grown man is required a certificate of his having taken the Holy Communion. A man, however, belonging to our class neither goes to school nor is bound by the regulations affecting those in the public service, and may now live through long years. Still more was this the case formerly, without being once reminded of the fact that he lives among Christians, and calls himself a member of the Orthodox Church. Thus it happens that now, as formerly, the influence of early religious teaching, accepted merely on trust and upheld by authority, gradually faded away under the knowledge and practical experience of later life, which is opposed to all its principles, and that a man often believes for years that his early faith is still intact, while all the time not a particle of it remains in him. A certain S , a clever and veracious
Sample complete. Ready to continue?